Okay, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, yes. So I'm Miss Good News with WLJZ 107.1 FM out in Livingstone College, HBCU. Yeah, LC, you know what I'm saying? Who you with? Okay, but yeah, so I'm a host. I'm a lot of things. I'm a creator, okay? And then I'll get into that a little bit later when we start talking. I do a lot of stuff. I do everything that I need to do and can do that's good and healthy, okay? So that's me.
Okay. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I go by the super producer DJ Vanex. A music producer, a music executive, and a DJ and an entrepreneur.
Where you from?
I'm from Burlington, but I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. And you guys know me. If you came late, then you didn't hear my intro, but I am Shae Foote. I'm a publicist. I do promotions for Radio 1 Charlotte, all 6 radio stations. And I'm a publicist for Isaiah Turnage, who's a linebacker at UNC Charlotte, and Wonder, who's a professional model and a pop artist. So that's everything that I do. And I guess we could go ahead and get this kicking off. If you guys can give me some tips that you will give an independent artist to break into the sports industry.
Okay, so now and let me because I'm very transparent. I don't know everything about this sports, okay, but I do know a little bit. Okay, a little bit. I do know that it's important, very very important to have your business like all the panels before us has says you need to have your business in order. And I know we're talking more about licensing than we are copyrights. I believe that they both run hand in hand. So you definitely need to know about copyrights and everything, and in order to understand licensing when it comes to your music. And so the way that I explain it or I understand it is when you have a house, you have the deed to your house. The deed to your house is saying that you own that. So your copyrights is your intellectual property. I'm sorry, intellectual property. So you can't necessarily take your house and give it to somebody, but you know that this is yours. So if you have that house and you wanted to rent your house out to someone else, that right there is where licensing is. It's the agreement, the terms in which you're going to use your work for. So if you don't know about the copyright, you can't really understand the licensing. And so I'll let you, I don't want to give too much.
Yeah, copyright is very important, but before you copyright, you need to make sure you own the music. A lot of artists are sampling, and when you're sampling somebody else's music, you're not going to get it copyrighted cleared without paying for it. So it's best for artists to make original music so you can own 100% of it, and then you can copyright that. You won't have any issues. But unless you got the money to clear the samples, but stay away from that if you can, to create your own ownership of your music.
And can all producers please get paid?
Yeah, definitely. Pay the producers.
Pay the producers. Pay the producers. And I would like to say too, just off of that, yes, make sure that it's a lot of artists. Listen, I see a lot of artists do these mixed CDs, which that's cool. But if you're in it to make money and you don't want to just be busy, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out here that's busy and productive are two different things. You need to be productive and not just out here busy. So make sure you go ahead and invest in yourself and get you an original beat and go ahead and just do it the right way, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you do it. YouTube beats, a lot of people, I own a studio called Exclusive Studios, and it's with like mid downtown area, Greensboro. And I say about 75 of the artists come in there off of YouTube beats. When I see you go on YouTube and download a beat, I'm like, I don't know how far you're gonna get with that, because you got maybe 50,000 other people that use that same beat, and someone might already own it, and you're just running up numbers for them. Yep. So it's good, like she said, get with a producer like me, get you some original beats, and then you can take off from there.
Okay, yeah, that is very good information from both of y'all. I do want to answer the question also and just say I know that a lot of times it's hard to break through in either industry, sports or music. And so I was working with an independent artist in Atlanta, and he went to this basketball court, shot a video, wasn't thinking nothing of it. But of course, it's in Atlanta, so they have the Falcons logo everywhere. So I'm like, hey, the video got up to like 1 million streams on YouTube. So I end up Googling, trying to use my network, and I couldn't find anybody. So I Googled and I found the DJ. Well, no, a friend of mine gave me the DJ to the Atlanta Falcons their game. He DJs the game. So I showed him the video. I'm like, hey, the video has 1 million streams. Can you play the song during the game? He said the song is dope. No money required. I'm playing the song at every game because he shouts out the team in the song.
Right.
Yeah, but one thing I do want to say is that artists, be careful about what you put in your songs, because even though he shouted out the team and they loved it, he shouted out another beer brand that was their competition to their sponsor. So we did have to go back through the song and change the name of the beer that he used in the song because it was the competition to their endorsement. So they can't have a song playing that's in competition. You know what I'm saying? They're losing endorsement money. So be very clear when you're talking about a Patek, or when you're talking about Ciroc, or when you talking about different type of cards and things. Think about the future. When you put this in your songs, you may open yourself up to opportunities, but at the same time, you may be canceling ones as well. You don't want to shout out one Coca-Cola and then Pepsi is like, well, nah, we can't work with you now. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one thing to think about. As a producer, I know you speak a lot about YouTube beats and everything. Have you been in a situation where a song has taken legs and then you had to cancel it because anything in the future?
Not for me, but
Not for
I
you?
see it all happen all the time for other artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with any athletes that became rappers or vice versa?
No, not like Shaq and all them.
Yeah.
No, it is well, he's not been drafted yet, but I am working with one guy who used to, he played for UNCG. He's about to get
Okay.
drafted. He records in my studio, but
Oh,
not
okay.
yet.
That's dope. Do you guys think it will be, well, how do you guys think somebody can balance being an athlete and being an independent artist at the same time?
For me, I believe it's just life in general. It's you have to have balance. Especially at Livingstone College, there's students there, and of course they're if they're in entertainment, a lot of times, like if you play sports, you're known in out here in the world and popular, and a lot of those are, I mean, a lot of the athletes are artists, and so they want to do both, but it's very time consuming to be an athlete because you have your studies and then you have to do the practice training and all that type of stuff. But I would just say balance. Just figure out who it is that you want to be and where you want to be in life, and sit down and strategically plan, like know the steps that it takes to get to where you want to be. Don't just be out here aimlessly trying to get and make something happen. Have a plan, like this is what I need to get here from point A to point Z, and make it happen. And the other thing is to just remember who you are and what works for you, because everything that works for everybody else may not work for you. What success is for you is subjective. It changes per person. It's not one way, and that's the only way. Success is dependent upon you and what you want. So you just have to really, for me, it's really just being strategic. Like have a goal in mind. Just don't be out here, because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And that's not cliche. That's definitely true.
Yeah. I think a lot of opportunities are presented to athletes over independent artists, which is unfortunate on the independent artist standpoint. I worked with, well, I won't say his name, but I worked with a baseball player, and his dad was this Hall of Famer. Just everybody knows him. And so he's following his father's footsteps, of course, because you really don't have no choice at that point when your father's a Hall of Famer. But he really wanted to be a rapper. And so he had all of these scholarships, and he was playing, and he went AAA, which is like the G League, and then he went AA. And so it's like you're in the major leagues now.
Right.
And I understand this is your future. And he was like, no, but this is my father's future. I want to do me. And he really wanted to be an artist. And I was like, well, I might not be representing you no more because you throwing away this major league money to be an independent artist. Like, where they do that at?
And you can
But
do both though. Like
yep,
you can
and that's
definitely
and
do
that's
both.
exactly what he's doing. But I really said, if baseball is what got you here, then don't give that up.
That's right.
Use that to fund what your dreams is until you can really live without it.
That's
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But at that time, I'm his publicist and I'm trying to gear him in the right direction. And I'm like, I understand that I'm deeply in the music industry, but this ain't where it's at. You majorly. But then everybody has to find their own path, you know what I mean? And you may have people in your circle that says, we want you to go this way, we want you to go that way. Be strategic, have multiple streams of income in anything that you do, and then make sure you use that to put yourself on the next level. You wanted to speak on it?
I agree. Most artists gotta understand that you have to become a businessman when you become an artist.
Yes.
You just can't be an artist without no plan. And having a budget is very important. A lot of artists don't create a budget for themselves. You should create a budget on a quarterly or yearly way, strategize that, and make it work for you. But the most important thing with artists on the come up is to network with the DJs.
That's right.
The DJs are the portal to getting your music circulating in the clubs and just streaming and creating a brand for your music, because a lot of music is sellable. You just got to create a brand for it. A lot of songs we listen on the radio all the time, we don't like it, and then sooner or later you start gravitating to it. So if you're serious about it, understand that not just being a rapper, you want to be an artist, and an artist has to become a businessman.
I,
You know what I mean?
I love you. So can I piggyback? Okay,
Okay.
so like a reputation is no more than just like knowledge. But when wisdom, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge applied. So we can come and tell you all these things, but if you don't apply it, then you haven't become wise yet.
Right.
So a brand is the same thing. Like, so you can have a reputation, that's your name. Everybody know you. Oh, he rap. Oh, okay, he an athlete. But your brand is, like he said, it's a perspective. It's a mindset where you say, okay, this is a business now. So a brand is letting people know, like, this is not just my name, but this is what I do. It's in me and not on me. And like, I get excited about this.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just look at all of these successful artists that we see. You got Lil Baby, Meek Mill, Jay-Z, you got all of these people. But just dealing with the new school, look how many of them say, I want to get out of my contract. We see that at least once a month now.
Yeah, they went on their business.
Everybody wants to get out of their contract. Oh, they screwed me over. My label is taking my money. And, it's the same story every time. And half of the time it's the label's not taking their money. You gave it over because you signed the contract, but they didn't know the business side of it.
Right. Getting a lawyer is very important to look over contracts and understanding publishing, copyrights, PRO companies, what publishing is. I mean, every artist who performed in here today should have their own publishing company, okay? And should be signed up with a PRO and make sure all your songs is registered. All right. And the main thing, one good thing is North Carolina is on fire right now. So a lot of the music execs are looking to sign artists. So if you got your business in order, you can get signed now from North Carolina. It wasn't like that maybe 5-10 years ago.
Yep. I'm not going to put anybody out there, but I just met 2 people in North Carolina from 2 different labels that the label paid them to move to North Carolina. They're here. One is in Charlotte.
Yep.
They are
Epic.
here. So the label is paying people and executives from their office to move to North Carolina because we have people like DaBaby, Stunner for Vegas, J. Cole, Murray, all of these artists that are now blowing up out of the state. Is more important now than ever to sit down with a DJ or a publicist or someone that says, where do we start to get our music together?
Right.
Yeah.
So that is my next question. Where do you start?
Well, for me, I would definitely like he said, the DJs, and we a lot of people just fail because of lack of knowledge. So like he said, you have to get some original music, the content. You have to have your content. I have a company where I just started doing consultation, just jumpstart. It's called a jumpstart package with artists just to help them get on the right foot. Like he was saying, like your PROs, those types of things. You need to know the language and understand. Like, and shout out to DJ Chuck T, because I took his class. Definitely invest in a class where you can get the education behind all of the music, because it's business. And like he was saying, you should be getting paid all kinds of ways. There's different ways to get paid, not just one time selling a CD or that type of thing. I call it like the 5. Okay, so you have to have maybe BMI or ASCAP. You have to have a distributor, whether it be cdbaby.com. I don't even know if they do that still, but the TuneCore, a lot of people use DistroKid. They help you get some of your royalties, but not all of them. You have to have Song Trust, Sound Exchange, because all of these different entities help you collect your money in different ways. And so if you don't understand that, you'll be missing out, and you cannot expect people to be like you. This is business. So everybody is not going to do and be morally correct. They're not going to say, oh, you didn't know, so I'm going to tell you. You can wait on it, but a lot of people going to say, if you don't know that that's your money, I'm going to collect it for you. And that's how that's going to work. So don't fall off because of lack of knowledge. Educate yourself. If you're really passionate about it, you're really passionate and love it, study and show yourself approved. That's really the basis. And then connect with the people you see. Like we here, you should have everybody Instagram before you walk out, because you already know following is not everything, but it holds some weight. Connection and network holds weight. Relationships. So you should make sure you meet everybody before you leave, and the people that you know are solid, and they have platforms like this. This lady, I keep seeing her everywhere I go. They say I'm everywhere, but she everywhere. You know, Vanex, what we met at some networking thing. And so just stay out there, stay connected. Even if you're not performing, still be out here networking and just making the connections. That's all. That's where I say.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, Vanex?
A lot of artists got to learn how to travel. Get out your comfort zone, get out your city. It's good to network because a lot of artists think like Gucci Man or quality control people are going to send you an email or going to pull up and sign you. A lot of artists get signed by plain looking people who you wouldn't even think that they hold the position. You know what I mean? God has ways of throwing dice your way, and you got to learn how to grab it. Grab it. A lot of people miss opportunities. You know, you got to be a social butterfly in the music business. You can't be too shy and you can't be too cocky. You need to be right in the middle. All right. And the music business is very tricky because blessings come your way and you don't even realize when to grab them. A lot of people be looking for the fancy jewels and the big cars, and it don't happen like that. You know what I mean? So keep your eyes and ears open and network. That's the biggest thing. Get out of Greensboro, get out of North Carolina, travel, travel, travel. And when you are traveling, network.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, that's how I met a lot of people that I know in the industry, because they say the same thing you said. I see you everywhere. What do you do?
That's like, what do you do? That's the
So,
question.
and that's the opening to everybody I meet. All of the connections I have to people out of state, it's either through somebody or because they just see me out all the time. And so, my last question, so we can wrap this up. I know artists, they go to a lot of panels, they hear the same thing: register your music, get with a PRO. But and that's important.
Right.
But what do you tell the independent artist that has that already? What's the next step? Like, I know there's licensing opportunities like we spoke about before. What are some avenues that independent artists can take outside of just recording a song and putting it on YouTube and the DSPs?
Well, I would say um, definitely getting involved. Okay, the showcases. Now, and it help me out now. But listen, I have my personal opinions about this. I believe again, success is based on the individual, so it's subjective. I can't give you one way to do it and then it works for everybody. That just doesn't happen. But I believe that doing showcases is very important. Now, I have met artists that have just they're above that to me, and not to say that they're better. It's just that they have like the personality. It's the star quality. They have a story. You know what I'm saying? Artists have to have a story. They have to be able to convey that story, make people feel it. They have to have spunk, you know, engage in other with other people, and then be able to rock these platforms, not just showcase platforms, but festival platforms, because there's a difference. Like, you know, entertaining different size audiences or anything or everything. So do showcases, but when you know that you're past that, you may need to find you a manager. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, a lot of artists want to have managers and they don't have anything to manage yet. They're not doing that. They just talking about social media right now, and that's not even on point. So they don't even know what a manager is. But I think that there are artists out here that they're making moves. They're connecting with a lot of people. They got their music right, so they need to be performing, maybe even getting into festivals and things of that nature. And then it's just up from there. Just keep working. That's pretty much what I would say.
Um, I would say showcases is a good way to network and to test records. You can test your songs out at a lot of showcases and see if that's the one you need to push. A lot of artists need to choose one single to just promote, market it. A lot of people give up on songs too early, and they forget that sometimes it takes songs a year or two to break. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in North Carolina trying to be an artist, it could take you 2 to 5 years. There's a lot of songs we hearing right now. They recorded 5 years ago, and we just now hearing them. So never give up on a song, and yeah, and always you gotta have that money, man. Have you some money. Don't just be an artist with a dream with no money. And I can talk on this all day because one thing about being an artist is that you need to choose your audience who to promote your music to. You know, once you find out your wave, how you like to move, promote your music to that audience because there's so many different music that's selling. You got hip hop, R&B, you got reggaeton, you got Afro beats.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different ways you can make money, and artists ain't just got to make a hip hop artist ain't got to just make rap stuff. You can make R&B mixed with rap. Those are some of the best records to sell because you can feel, people who love R&B, they can gravitate to it, and people who like rap, they can gravitate to it. If you listen to a lot of the records we like right now, it's a mixture of both.
Right.
A lot of the songs that get played on the radio have an R&B feel to it. Choose and choose the right record to promote, and make sure you have a dirty and a clean version when you out doing shows.
Yep.
Can I say something? Yes.
Okay, no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. HBCU, you hit it on the head. I was just waiting to say that. Please make sure y'all have a clean version. Okay, because listen, you like Shae said, you will mess up a lot of opportunities out here. You know what I'm saying? And just it's cool. I get it. You make your songs and it is what it is. But when you send it to the radio, we have to play the clean version. We have to play the clean version. When you get into the HBCUs and you want to come and do a homecoming, which you should be trying to get into the HBCUs and connect with the students, you want to have a clean version because that's the only way you'll be able to do those types of things. Even now with promotion, I do a promotion at Concord Mills. It's family friendly. We're promoting people's videos. We have to censor things out. We can't have booty buns while the little kids is walking around. It's just
Right.
not appropriate.
Right.
So make sure that you do that. Like Vanex said, listen, make sure that you have music for everybody so you won't cut yourself off from every avenue of getting money. And so,
Yep.
shout out to Livingstone College and all HBCUs.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to piggyback on that before we wrap this up. I do promotions for 6 radio stations. This is the second radio company that I work with, and from the bottom of my heart, leave radio alone. Don't think about it. I know everybody wants their song on the radio. I know it's a great feeling. I still get excited to this day when my client is being played on the radio, and I'm like, oh my God, and I got to put it on Instagram. But it's so much money. It's so much money. It's so much work. And if you go to radio too quick, once that song stops playing on the radio because Drake dropped, there is no coming back and putting the song back on the radio again. And then if the money stops and the radio stops playing it because the money stops, because we all know how that goes, there is no coming back and adding another budget to it a month or two later. The song is done. And if you didn't do your footwork in the streets to get the people in love with the song, if you didn't push it on social media or on the internet and get the blogs and stuff involved, then once that song stops playing on the radio, it's done. And you have to start all the way back from square one. If you go to radio too soon, it can really, really help a record if you have the budget for it, but it can also hurt a record if you do it way too soon. So really, really try to connect with your audience, like Vanex says. Figure out who are those group of people that are your cult following, that are going to be there with you, ride or die. And then try to get all of their friends and all of their family. hit really hard on social media, hit the shade room, the blogs, whatever type of outlet that fits your audience. Hit the blogs, hit the websites, go on tour. Like Vanex said, get out of the state. Do every piece of groundwork that you can do on your own before you go to radio. Because best believe when the song take legs, radio is going to look for your song. They're going to come to you. So please, I've seen a lot of artists, they have a manager and they're past the introduction stage and they have somebody that's backing them as far as getting the money. And so they may sign to like an independent label, and the independent label is how much it costs to do radio.
But now let me tell you this though, and that this is why I tell y'all, and I'm not trying to hold y'all. I just want to make sure y'all get this information. Listen, the reason I tell you with HBCUs, I'm a radio personality, and at the marketing director for WLJZ 107.1 FM. Listen, the college radio runs totally different. We can play your music as much as we want to.
Yep.
We are a reporting station, which means that you get paid every time your song gets played on the radio if your business is in order. So there's artists that we have right now that they're getting paid $800 a month. $800. Shout out COE Mark Savage, but they're getting checks every month because we can play it as much as we want to. We can play it
there.
In between, after, whenever. We can play your whole album. Other radio stations can't play your whole album, and they're oversaturated with nationally known artists. So you'll get lost in the whole stuff. But not at not at any HBCU, not at Livingstone College, not at WLJZ 107.1 FM. Get your music right, get your business right, send y'all music over there. We'll play it. You know what I'm saying?
College radio, absolutely. College radio is the way to go. Trying to go on FM radio where it's I really don't want to discourage anybody, but I've just seen it so many times. When you can have that same budget and send it to college, and get on college radio and get 10 times more spins than you would ever get on terrestrial radio. Like 102.5, shout out to you guys. I love you. Thank you for my job. But as an independent artist, please look into college radio, look into radio broadcasting locally. They have these local TV stations that you can do licensing deals for. There are movies and TV shows and commercials and so many different avenues that you can put your music on, and you don't have to promote it. Every time that commercial's getting paid, you're getting a check. Every time somebody buys a video game and your music is in it, you're getting a check. So there's a lot of different licensing opportunities that are better uses of your money than going to FM radio and killing your whole song before it takes legs. Did you want to add anything?
I mean, you said it all. DJs. I mean, a lot of people have a problem with getting their songs played on the radio because they don't have any relationships with the PR, the program director, or don't know none of the DJs. Gravitate to the DJs who like the song. When you sense a DJ don't like the song, don't even worry about spending no money with them, because it might go to waste. But let me take that back. I have seen some DJs that didn't like the song, and then they start playing it, and they start liking it. Because don't let one person's opinion discourage you in the music business. You got to believe in yourself off gate. You got to be strong-minded and don't take no. Don't take no for the last resort. Push, and let God open up doors for you.
Absolutely. I use DJs for any and everything that I need. I don't care if it's whose song is out, can I get tickets to a show, or what I need to eat. Right. The DJ is my plug for everything. Yep. And the DJ is usually the first person to know about stuff in the music industry. So always try to find that one DJ that likes your music or at least supports your grind. Yep. And then build a team starting with them, and they can move you around the industry. Yep. I guess it's time to go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, come holler at either one of us. You want to go ahead and say your social media?
Ms. Good News, MZGOODNEWZ, no S's. Ms. Good News on all social media platforms.
Mine's super producer Vanex, super spelled SUPA.
All right, and I'm Shae Foote, PR. Again, it's on the back of my shirt, so don't worry about the spelling. Thank you, promise.